Welcome to the Ask Amanda Show, where we solve everyday problems for the small business owner. Get nuggets of inspiration, access to experts, and answers to those burning questions preventing you from growth. Here's your host, Amanda Benson-Tilch.
Welcome to another episode of the Ask Amanda Show. I'm sitting here with one of my besties, Lindsay Schlick of SchlickArt Photography and Video.
Hi.
Hi. So I've been looking forward to doing this episode with her for a while, and in fact, I'm surprised that we narrowed it down to one episode, because every time we would get together and talk about what should we talk about, it just went on and on and on and on. So I hope that we deliver, which I'm sure we're going to deliver, some great value to you as the listener and viewer. But before we dive in all things about visual marketing and the importance of visual marketing, which is her profession,
Absolutely.
Let me tell you a little bit about Lindsay Schlick. So as the lead photographer and co-owner of SchlickArt Photography and Video, Lindsay Schlick's eye for beauty is matched by her mind for business. After leaving her hometown in Lancashire, England,
Lancashire. But it's
I
fine.
knew I wasn't going to say it right. Lindsay got her start as a photographer aboard Princess Cruise ships, where she met her future husband and business partner, Brian Schlick. He's on the other side of the camera.
It's doing a great job, honey.
Great job. In 2012, the Lovebirds launched SchlickArt, a boutique media company in Santa Clarita. From that moment on, Lindsay has been dedicated to growing a community-driven business that makes people feel fabulous. One of her slogans. What is it? You always say
I'm so fabulous.
And the community has recognized her efforts. In fact, Lindsay has been awarded the Entrepreneur Award by the SCV Business Journal, the Ultimate Photographer Award by Elite Magazine, and Santa Clarita's Best Photographer by The Signal, and many more. So, Lindsay, officially welcome to the Ask Amanda Show.
Thanks for having me.
I need a sip. So, if you've seen any of our other episodes or my other episodes, we normally have some coffee here. Today, I decided to do champagne because literally this is part of your brand, the experience that you deliver with your brand.
And our friendship,
well,
I
yes,
feel.
100% our friendship. But why don't you take a minute and tell our viewers more about SchlickArt Photography and Video?
So, as Amanda said, we are a boutique photography and video company here in Santa Clarita. We do things a lot differently to most photography companies. You're coming in for an experience, not just a photography session. This isn't the place that you come if you just want to be there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, get a couple of shots. You kind of like them, but not really. You know, this is the place that you come where you want to find the headshots for your business that you love giving out to the world, that you have pride in showing the images because you love them. Same with our video. You know, we have clients who leave here that cannot believe that we make a video product that good. So that's in a nutshell. We do that for our clients. We have a personal line as well with family photography, boudoir, legacy sessions, and then our business side is our professional portraits, our marketing portraits, and our video.
I want to jump in lots of video, which is what this is today. But I want to jump in because I think it's important to tell viewers where we met and how we met. I don't know if you remember, but I do.
I think I do.
And networking. Actually, you're wearing what we met. A little black dress group.
Yes, it was a little black dress group.
Black dress group.
Yeah.
So we met.
Wendy Whitehead introduced us.
We met at a kind of newly founded networking group for women, and it was called the Little Black Dress Group, and it was a happy hour type of event.
When you were at the Hyatt.
There is a theme here, if you've been watching my other episodes, of how I've met a lot of my guests, and it's through networking. And really that's where you get to build a lot of these relationships, and it's a key element into marketing and branding your business. And I just wanted to say that because I'm thankful for that little group. I mean, I feel like we've developed such a great friendship from there, but also a business partnership. Again, you're one of my power partners that I use a lot. I refer people to when solving their problems. In fact, one of the ways that we have worked together in the past is not just through headshots and things like that, which you've done all of my headshots that I love so much.
Thank you.
Helping me develop my brand's voice. But you've also done some clients that I've given over to, like quite a few actually, and that kind of has set the tone for their brand.
Absolutely.
their voice and
You
their brand.
tee them up and
Yeah.
you send them over.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about, because, why don't you tell me a little bit more about your story, and then we'll dive into that kind of in our next segment about our brand's voice. But tell me a little bit about how you got here with SchlickArt.
So, in 2011, from 2007 to 2011, I was working for an e-commerce business down in LA, creating their photography for websites and for their clients' websites. And I knew I was going to get laid off late in the recession. So I had time, and I used that time as an opportunity to create and decide what I wanted to do in creating my own business, or maybe working for somebody else. And we decided that we'd be so much better off if we created our own business, and we moved forward with that. However, at the time, we didn't really fully know what that business was, because I'm in photography. My husband's a videographer, video editor, director, and we weren't sure how we could put these two things together.
Right.
And we were looking around at other photography studios and seeing what they were doing, and it was a lot of weddings and family photography and things like that. And that's just not me. I'm just not a family photographer in that direct sense. I don't have children of my own. It's just Brian and I. And the idea, I always joke, and sorry about this, but I always say I'd rather stick pins in my eyes than follow your kids around a park and take pictures of them. It's just not...
Know your limits. Know your strengths. It's totally
just
fine.
Not me.
Yeah.
So we were very much like, we knew we wanted to start a photography video company. I had a lot of background dealing with models and directing models and creating shots that really got the best out of models, and a huge Photoshop background as well. And we were actually in a grocery store.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell the grocery store story, because it's just so cute.
So we were in a grocery store, just Brian and I getting our groceries, trying to figure out, we were just that week when we were like, what are we going to do? And where, you've finished shopping and you're going to the register, and there was a woman ahead of us in the register, and she saw all the magazines on the shelf, and she was just, I think she was just must have been having the worst day ever. And she was just unraveling, and she said, she was just like, oh my gosh, why do they make them look so beautiful? It's so fake. Why don't I get to look like that? I want to look like that. And Brian and I just looked at each other, and we got back in the car, and we were basically, oh my gosh, we can do this. We can make any woman look that good. It's
their best
posing,
selves.
lighting, the right clothing, and a little bit of Photoshop here and there. It's simple.
Well, and a lot of self-confidence, which is what you're key at. You are so good at making the person behind or in front of the camera feel so good about themselves.
Thank you.
It's a great trait you have.
Thank you. So we sat there, I think we went home, we made dinner, and we just started scribbling ideas. And Brian, being from a video background, is like storytelling. All these women have stories, and we need to tell these stories as well. It's not just the photographs, it's the experience, the time with you being, because I'm a very nurturing person when somebody's in our studio, taking care of them, but then telling their story. So they get the whole whammy. They get the looking beautiful, but also getting to talk. Women, we spend so much time taking care of everybody else. Who takes care of us? Who listens to us for 10 minutes, So we created a package of a legacy day, an experience to come into a photo studio, have professional portraits, like 2020 style glamour, not 1997 style glamour, contemporary portraiture, but also tell your story. And that's how we started. But then...
goes into your, I want to just jump in because it goes into your tagline, which is be yourself, brand yourself, tell your story.
100%. Yeah.
You really kept in line with that as you built your business out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were shooting portraits not like anybody else kind of in our area. Everybody thinks of glamour portrait and they think feather boas and a blue marble
sparkly denim jackets. I have that photo.
I'm sure you do.
I have so much makeup on, you can't tell I have freckles.
Is that the one that's your dad's favorite photo?
It's one of my dad's favorite photos. If I find it, we'll flash it here. I hope I don't find it.
I'll call her father. We'll find it. We got to show this photo. But instead, we were creating bright, beautiful photos that was like beauty lighting on the face, like magazine style professional portraits for women. And we put this out as an option, but not only were we getting these clients, these women who wanted to tell their stories, but a lot of business clients that I was networking with were like, hang on a minute, I want this for a professional portrait.
Right.
I'm sick of the marble
Yes.
blue background, dark professional portraits. I want a headshot that really shows who I am, you know, in, you know, in the
Classy,
2000s.
done very well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can do that. And so I started offering that, and that just exploded. And
Yeah.
from there, we added business videos, and we now do a full service visual marketing brand that we talk about, you know, photo and video. We can
Yeah.
even help you
We'll
with
talk
writing.
about that. I want to
we
dive
add
in.
family.
Yeah, I want to dive into the visual marketing, that whole package that you guys offer. But yeah, then a lot of the people that have seen your headshots and the wonderful like look that you've given, they now say, hey, can you take my family portraits? And
Yeah, so
you've
we
grown.
added Sonia to our team just this past year, and she is now our family portrait photographer in studio and on location, but still creating the same experience and the same lighting
Yeah.
and the same beautiful feeling that you get when you leave the studio.
And because she learned from you.
Yeah.
Continuing to learn from you.
Yeah,
But yeah,
she's fantastic. She's awesome.
She is fantastic. Actually, I've seen her work that she's done, and she does have the same thing that you have, which is that you care so much about the person that you're shooting,
Absolutely.
and the family or the people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that I think is so important about who you are as a company. I mean, it goes along with like it's just in alignment with who your brand is. Like that's the promise of your brand, if you will, is that you are delivering that message across. Like you just care.
Yeah.
And you don't want their photos to be shitty.
Yeah.
Or
Pretty much.
videos or anything. I mean, you
Yeah.
won't let it leave the studio.
And not having an ego about it as well. A lot of photographers, like they'll create a product for a client, and then the client is like, oh, can you fix this, this, and this? And they'll say,
Yes.
either they don't know how to fix it in post-production, they don't know Photoshop, or they'll say, oh, well, this is my artistic license and I need to create it this way. No, they're the client. Give the client what they want. It's
yeah.
you know, just by doing that, you make so many people so happy, and they come back and back and back, and that's what we want.
Know, like, and trust.
Exactly.
You're building that constantly through all the things that you do with your brand. Well,
100%.
when we come back, I want to talk to you more about visual marketing and that kind of branding that you build out for people, the packages that you guys have created. And I really would like to talk about what you think people are missing most about their marketing. What's the one thing that people miss about their marketing?
Yeah.
I want you to share what your opinion is on that. Usually I will do like a little shout out. I would like, you know, on a product or a company or business that I love so much. This actually is entire episode is going to be dedicated to SchlickArt video and photography because, you know, listen, I have such a great relationship with them, but they have really helped me grow my brand to where I want it to be, not only by delivering the products that we do, that things that we work on, but we brainstorm together so much that I just feel like I just wanted this whole episode to be about them and dedicated to them, because it's the Ask Amanda show is not about me. It's actually about my guests. And that's what I want to talk about. So one of the products that I want to mention, or services that they offer, are headshots. They are the first people that made me feel like I actually, when we did my first round headshot, you actually made me feel like I was somebody. I was like, oh, this person should own up to who she's making me look like right now, which was professional. I still walk the line, but anyways, you do a really good job of capturing that. But one of the things that I love so much about is that you offer every kind of professional photo shoot that you need. So it's not just a headshot, traditional studio shots. There could be in your business, outside of your business, like in front of your business. It could be videos that you do talking about like your business, but dialing back into lifestyle marketing shoots, like for social media. I mean, you guys offer so much. So if you haven't had the experience of a headshot yet with them, I highly recommend it. And I also think that you probably need an updated version of your headshot, because I guarantee you the majority of people watching this, you don't remember the last time you took a professional headshot. So when it comes time to refresh your vision of marketing, I hope that you call SchlickArt. So after we hear from our sponsors, we're going to come back and talk about what you think is missing from people's marketing.
Perfect. As business owners and professionals, you have so much on your plate. You never stop to think about your headshots, marketing video, or personal branding until you need it now. Then you're scrambling to figure out what to wear, how to match your brand, what to say, how to reach your target audience, and how to use your visuals in a way that actually makes an impact in your marketing.
You quickly realize you don't have any of the answers because you're not supposed to. You're not a professional marketer, model, or TV personality. You're an executive who needs efficiency, superior quality, and a little direction. You also want to feel good when you step in front of the camera, and maybe even have a little bit of fun too.
Hi, this is Brian and Lindsay Schlick with SchlickArt Photography and Video. We provide professional headshots, marketing photography, business videos, video subscriptions, and more to help you market your business with compelling visuals and a streamlined experience. We guide you through the process every step of the way so you can feel your best on camera and make the biggest impact in your marketing.
Visit SchlickArt.com to see how we can help you take your brand to the next level and look good while doing it.
Welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. I'm sitting here with my lovely guest and dear friend, Lindsay Schlick of SchlickArt Photography and Video. And we are going to dive in a little bit more about visual marketing. I would love for you to explain to our audience what visual marketing is to you.
Absolutely. So every brand, every business, has a logo, has their website, has written content. They've thought of all that for their brand. But what they're missing is, the photography and video aspect of their brand.
Right.
I see stock photography on websites in 2020. Yeah. That is a big no-no. Most people go online and research the heck out of whatever it is that they're going to purchase. They don't just cold call or pick up the phone or just reach out and just book somebody anymore. Nobody works like that, especially anybody under the age of 45.
Yeah.
They want to go online, they want to figure out, they want to do a ton of research to decide who they want to go with because they don't want to talk to you on the phone.
Right. They even communicate to you online. Yeah.
Yeah, or they text you.
Right.
Like I get so many texts before I get anything else these days.
Yeah.
So if I'm not out there with my visual marketing, my photography, and my video to match everything else that I have going on in my brand, actual snippets of me talking about my business, actual snippets of me working in my business, showing people the inside of our office, showing them our space.
Yeah.
That is all the visual marketing pieces that are so key in today's world. Yeah.
I remember seeing when I was researching a gym, I looked at the gym and I was like, oh, they have a pool? Went there, they had no pool. It was still the stock. It was still the template that they used. Yeah. And it had the stock photos put into it. And I mean, that's like my
that's
heart
a huge
sank.
no-no.
It's a huge no-no. So I like the idea of what
you're misrepresenting your brand.
100%. And I love the way that you guys really offer a product around that. So like we'll take your headshot with your colors and your theme, and we'll take the video and or photos of you inside at your desk working or meeting with your clients. Like they're not just stock photos that are pulled out. I think one of the challenges, and you could speak to this, that people might have is like, I don't want to be behind the camera. Like, I don't want to do it.
100%. But the other thing is nobody wants to be sold to anymore.
Yes.
Car commercials, buy me now, buy me now, buy me now, don't work. We are so, we've seen so many commercials on television. We watch so much television since God knows when, the 70s or what have you, that, we've been sold to. We're almost a little immune to it. However, telling somebody's story about how their business got started, how it worked, their experiences, and showing who they are speaks volumes.
It does.
And we enjoy those stories. Think about how many stories you read or not read, you consume on social media, or all the time these happy stories of businesses opening and people creating great products. We listen to them all the time and we love them. It's it's our new story.
Well, one of the clients I want to talk about that I just want to bring up that I love that we've collaborated with was Steve over at Lawn Kings. I mean, one of his, telling his story, for example, but one of his challenges that he had was his phone would ring all the time and he found himself exhausted at the end of the day because he would repeat himself over and over about what his product does. And you guys came in and helped him shoot a video explaining what it does, and then followed up with some photography behind it that he can then use on any email if he wanted to do, any blog that he wanted to do, on his website, or any print material that he wanted to do, or social media posts. I mean, literally from that one aspect of him kind of telling the story of how his product works, you guys were able to help shape that for him.
Absolutely.
That to me is visual marketing. I feel like you guys nail it.
100%. And also hearing him speak and tell his story, you learn so much about him and his wealth of knowledge that you would never know about him, and it gives him a sense of authority. You spend 10 minutes talking to Steve from Lawn Kings, your mind is blown at who this guy is and what he can do. But without those pieces, he's just another landscaper. He's just, you're comparing apples to apples, versus apples to oranges. He's a completely different animal than most landscape designers. He's done the work. And
he's a different fruit, for sure.
He'll love my analogy.
He'll love it. But that's what you mean by visual marketing. I feel like people get lost in that. It's not just, I need a good headshot that I'm going to just put on this postcard.
Absolutely.
It carries through to your whole business.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And also, one of the things that I always say to people, I'll go to a networking event and a real estate agent, accountant, you name it, will give me their card and they'll say, don't look at my picture, I hate it. And I'm like, why is it on your card representing you if you hate it? You are your business and you have to give your business out to and show other people your business with full confidence. Because if you do that, you are really putting yourself out there. If you're like, don't look at my headshot, I hate it. Like, why is it on your card? Because that's a representation of you that you're putting out there that is misrepresenting you, obviously, if you don't even like it.
And I do want to give you credit on something, because how many times have you heard people say, well, like, I'm trying to grow my hair out, or I need to lose a little weight first, or like, I'm not quite ready for my headshot yet. And like, literally none of that matters. When you get in front of her camera, none of that matters. You just make us look our best selves all the time. But it's still our real selves.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. How many times have I been given a business card and I'm going, no. Like, that's not who you are in real life. Or like, I'll look you up online and then I have a meeting with you and I didn't recognize you because that's not who you are. So like,
it's from 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is the point of the visual marketing aspect. It's like, you are your brand. And if you have a service to sell, you're selling yourself and you're discounting it when it's not truly you.
And I firmly believe that these are things that you update on a regular basis, especially in 2020. We are in a world now where things are moving so fast and everything's online and you can't get in front of your clients right now. Every communication you have with your clients is digitally. So you need to constantly be refreshing this stuff. So if you are growing your hair out, then you should have a headshot that looks like you now and one that looks like you in 6 months' time.
You literally told me that when we just took the headshots for this show, because I said, no, just use that one that I liked from January. It was January of like 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and her hair does not look the same.
Yeah, to the point. Why don't you tell us what you think is missing in, like, the one piece that's missing in people's, like, marketing today? Yeah, that's
like, I see it so often.
Not me, like an Ask Amanda, but like them. They're the ones that's missing.
They're client, them as the person doing the marketing. And it's something we hide behind. I think it's psychological. We get busy in our business and we're so busy working, we put this box around ourselves and we want all these aspects to be right. But when we actually have to put ourselves out there and be the person and stand up and put our fresh face out there, so to speak, like, then, you hide behind it. You run away. Oh, I don't like doing video. Oh, but I look terrible on camera. I'm not photogenic. I hate that. You're not photogenic. Then the photographer is doing something wrong.
Right.
I'm sorry, but everybody can look amazing in a photograph, in a portrait, with the right photographer, with the right direction. It is about direction and posing and getting your chin in the right place and lighting. And clothing, these things matter.
Like the
and
colors with your skin tone.
Yep. And with that, that right person, you can put yourself out there and be confident with what you're putting out. But if you don't put yourself out there, that's actually worse than not putting out anything at all.
Yes.
Because at that point, you have no personality, you are nobody, and you're now invisible.
Yeah. And how are you selling your products or your services if you're invisible?
Exactly.
One of the things I would love to mention right now too, because of how 2020 has gone, that so many more people are now comfortable being on camera and on video because of Zoom and what 2020 has done to a lot of us, which has forced us in that digital world. And so are you finding it easier now? Clients are coming to you and a little bit more easier for them to be on video?
So, I mean, we have been educating, we've been educating our clients for, the 8 years that we've been in business on how important photography and video is for your business and how the world is moving more in this direction. We're evolving in this direction. And I always say to people, hey guys, it's not going away. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And people are like, oh, I don't need to do that. They think the world's going to change overnight and we're all going to go back to analog or something.
Or they could just avoid it long enough that it will outrun, their career will end before that really has to become a thing.
100%. And we have been trying to tell people, and we've been pushing people in this direction and helping small business owners do this for so long. And then 2020 happened and overnight we evolved 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people who you would never get to go on a Zoom call or create a video or do some digital marketing for themselves have gone from avoiding it to now it's an emergency. It's a sense of urgency.
Yeah. Well, I think it's moved past that now because now we're in 2021. I feel like people now are just like, it's part of who they are. It's naturally now. But I think it did evolve that way.
Yeah.
So now it's sort of made your job a little bit easier.
Yeah, I would say easier. People reach out. We are having more people, more leads are coming in for the video side. We always get leads for the professional portrait side. The video side is always a tiny bit tougher. But I feel like now people are more open to the discussion. And then when they hear about how simple and easy we're going to make the process.
Which you really do.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Then it's definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
And seeing certain businesses, accountants, financial companies who would have avoided this stuff, law firms who avoid this stuff like the plague, now are making some fantastic videos of educating their clients in fields that the clients would avoid.
Yeah.
And this is great.
And it is great because the reason that's so necessary is because people are now not just walking in for a consultation. They're looking at your website and they're looking at your social media and they're looking for some of the answers of why they're going to come hire you. Yeah. That's why those videos are so crucial, and it goes along with your visual marketing. I mean, it's part of it. You can't, I feel like you just can't avoid it. You can't avoid video. I'm a fan of video. I realized I'm a terrible writer because I write like I talk. It's really fast and very misspelled, very poorly punctuated.
Sounds like my writing.
Very poorly
That's why I work in visual marketing, not content written
But
marketing.
I just went to video because I felt like, well, it's easier. Like, I want people to hear me, hear my tone, and see all my and it's easier for them to relate to me that way versus in the digital or in the written world. But I just believe like this is why visual marketing is so important. Well, I want to take a quick break and I want to come back and talk to you a little bit more about your role in building your business, because you as an entrepreneur is one thing that we bond over as well. And I would love to share some of your like insights with our audience of you building out your small business. As we like to call it, I guess. But before we jump to our sponsors and dive into that, I want to talk to you about, share with you guys about another product that they do, another service that they offer, which is video. Obviously, we've talked a lot about it. Because the truth is that you definitely, you are getting more eyes on your website and your social media, and what better place to host video about either who you are, kind of like in a bio format, if you will. You can put client testimonials on there in video format. You can put, steps to your services or your products or why they should buy your service or products. I mean, literally the list is endless of why video, how you can use video and why video is so important to you. In fact, 83% of marketers who've used video said it helped them with lead generation and lead directly to sales. That's huge, you guys. So what I love about what you guys do is that you do help us tell our story, but you're very good at guiding us through the process of our video. You're very welcome. It's more of a compliment for Brian, but whatever.
He's busy right now.
He is busy right now. But so when it comes time to refresh your visual marketing, I would hope that you would call SchlickArt. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to you a little bit more about how you grew your business and share some tips with our listeners. So we'll be right back. If you're a business owner or entrepreneur, then you know how to hustle. You show up every day, you put in the work, and you dedicate yourself day in and day out to making that amazing dream come true. But building a brand doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, you just can't get past a certain block, fix a specific problem, or take that next step on a daunting project. How do you get yourself from where you are to where you want to be? That's when you ask Amanda. Hi, I'm Amanda Benson-Tilch of Ask Amanda, a boutique consulting firm driven by passion and good ideas. I help solve everyday problems for the small business owner, from customer service to marketing to goal setting. I've never met a client I wasn't able to help, because if I can't solve your problem myself, I'll connect you to the person who can. Are you ready to finally break through your toughest problems? Visit askamandaconsulting.com to see how I can help. Because if you ask me, you'll get a solution. Welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. I'm sitting here with my dear friend, Lindsay Schlick of SchlickArt Photography and Video.
Hi.
Did I say it right? Video?
You did.
Okay, good. So I want to share with our listeners a little bit more. I want you to share with them about how you built your business. And one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do you know what to charge? Like, I want you to talk to me about knowing your worth. I know a lot of female entrepreneurs struggle with this. It's 100%. A confidence thing, but I know, that goes across the board. I would just love for you to share how you developed that part of your business.
100%. And it's really difficult for a lot of people in a service-based industry, especially women, but there are a lot of men who suffer with this as well, is we don't come with a standard price tag, right?
Right.
When you go into the Gap and buy a sweater, you just accept that that's how much something is supposed to cost, right? But when you work in a service-based industry, whether that's business coaching, graphic design, photography, you name it, we are businesses that have to build a small business ourselves, be a specialist, be a creator as a photographer, and then understand what to charge and what our gross is, what our net is, what our cost of goods are. And it's a lot. And this is why a lot of people steer away from it or avoid the subject completely. And they try and start a business without thinking about this stuff. They just hope for the best.
Yeah.
And they can't get past the 3-year mark without either spending too much money, going out of business, getting deflated and not hitting their goals and not having the confidence to stand up to that.
Or even like if they've left their current job where they're making a certain amount and then trying to start a business.
Yeah, so I use the E-Myth rule. If you've ever met the E-Myth, it's being a specialist versus a business owner. So when you work for somebody else as a photographer, let's say you're on $40,000, $45,000 a year as that photographer working for somebody else who owns a small business, you leave going, I can do this, I can work for myself. But your mindset is $45,000 a year, and that's not going to cut it. Think about everything that you have to spend. You have to buy your own equipment. You need some computer, studio space, CRM, billing software. You need an assistant. All these things, and it's switching that mindset is a very difficult thing. And so you have to start looking at your business differently, and you have to switch your mindset that you're worth. You leave that job thinking that you're worth $45,000 a year.
Because you're used to making that.
Versus moving to a business where you need to make $100,000 a year, maybe your first year. And then going over. And so I have a rule that's called the $100,000 rule.
Tell us this. So when you told me this the first time, I was like, aha, it just was so simple.
Yes.
So please share it with our
And
listeners.
This is a really great starting place to change your mindset and start building a small business. And it's the $100,000 rule. And I'm going to use a wedding photographer as my example in this, but this can be, relatable to any small business owner in any service-based industry. Basically, if I want to make $100,000, this is gross, not net, $100,000 gross.
In a
year, and I'm a $1,000 wedding photographer, that would mean I would have to shoot 100 weddings in a year.
Right.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
Like I, without an assistant and without any help, that is virtually impossible. Because first of all, there isn't 100 Saturdays in a year, and traditionally,
that's true.
Traditionally, weddings are shot on a Saturday. There's 52,
and there's holidays in there.
And there's holidays in there, and people don't want to get married on the 28th of December or what have you.
Right.
Plus, you might want a Saturday off, or you might want to take some vacation time, or, 100 weddings in a year is exhausting.
Yeah, I
you
can't
shoot
imagine.
for like 14 hours a day when you shoot a wedding. Then you have to edit them, which is about 40 to 60 hours per wedding.
Wow.
It's just impossible. So, and I see this a lot, wedding photographers, graphic designers, small business coaches, whatever, who are like, I'm $1,000. And I'm like, okay, you need 100 clients, go. And they're like, 100 clients in a year? How do I find 100 clients in a year? That's hard.
After what you just said too, of like all the expenses, it breaks down like you're just making like maybe $20 an hour. It's that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, $25 an hour is basically what that would work. Now, again, you decided to work for yourself because you wanted to make more than $45,000 in a year, right?
Yes.
And that's pretty much what you'll net is $45,000. As a photographer, the amount of equipment we buy and everything else, 45% after cost of goods and turning the lights on and everything, it's basically what you're looking for. And that's if you're conservative.
Right.
Like...
Which, startups, you tend to get, you
buy
buy all the shiny things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you worry about the little things. So that's where knowing your worth comes in, because you are not going to survive on $1,000 per wedding. You're going to be exhausted. You don't know your worth. You've just shown the whole world that you don't know your worth. You're cheap.
I think it's a great example of how to figure out what you're worth.
Yeah.
By doing it like that.
So what if you looked at it this way? Each wedding is $3,000. I'll tell you that in our industry, that is still really cheap. That's really, really low. But that means you would only have to shoot 34 weddings in a year, which is very doable. The average wedding photographer would be compared to 100. And look at it, like from spring all the way through summer to fall, shooting a wedding, those Saturdays.
Yeah.
That's 34 Saturdays in a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So this becomes attainable. And like I talk about this another way, like look at like Yves Saint Laurent, making a handbag.
Right.
The average handbag is between $3,000 and $4,000, right? Because they're not ready to make a $250 handbag.
Yeah.
With all their overhead and cost of goods and the design
and the material
they know, and most importantly, they know their worth.
Yeah. Well, this is probably how they figured out, but I think the reason why I wanted you to share this example, because it's been so valuable to me with some of my clients, is that it really helps you determine that. So many people don't know how to figure out their value without doing research on like, what are other business coaches making, Yeah. But guess what? I'm not like any other business coach.
Yeah.
I am totally different. So what are my goals for my business? And that's why I like about this kind of working backwards about how to charge.
Absolutely.
And then delivering, going back to the promise of your brand, delivering what that is.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I see
Lindsay.
Thank you. The other things that I see with, like, you look at your attorney or your accountant or somebody in that kind of business, we accept their cost at face value.
Right. No question.
We need them.
Yeah.
They need
they're the
clients.
Best. They're the expert.
Yeah, they're the expert, and we accept that cost. But when it comes to our own business, no matter what that business is, we choke. We're like, oh my gosh, I can't possibly ask for that amount of money. How can I do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you break down how much time you spent on doing it, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Because you have to make a living. You have to, take care of your family. You have to know your why.
Yeah.
All of these things.
That push you to that.
Yes.
Well, so let's kind of segue a little bit to how your business grew from kind of like this. Like you've added on so much to your business.
Can I add one more point on this? And this is the breakdown, because this is the next thing that people kind of get stuck with this.
Okay.
Is then they're like, okay, I'm now a $3,000 wedding photographer. I got to do 34 weddings in a year to make $100,000. Great. And they set off in January, and we all make resolutions in January. And then by February, it's all gone out the window. We start marketing. We've done everything else. Another thing to break down and think about, which I'm going to give kudos to John Vance of Vance Wealth Financial for this one, is he then, in business coaching that we did with him, he also broke down stop looking at the year as 52 weeks. You don't work 52 weeks a year. Do you want to go on vacation? Are you going to get sick? Are you going to need to deal with some family issues along the way? A year should be 48 weeks in a year.
It's very true.
Or 11 months in a year, whichever way you want to look at it. So then you take that, you know, $100,000 and you break it down to what you need to make monthly to hit your goal.
Based on 11 months.
Based on 11 months. So that would be at $9,090 a month or $2,083 a week. And the reason why you want to do that is when you're looking at your P&L or your goals or however it is that you plan your money.
You should be doing monthly.
Which
I would like to just say that's a tip.
I do it every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Sorry, I just hit my mic there. I do it every 2 weeks because if in the first 2 weeks of the month you haven't made your 2 weeks worth, then you got to make it up. You got to hustle. You got to get out there and network and market and get your 34 weddings for the year. So breaking it down, that's like the most simple task that you can do.
I love that.
So from there, like that's basically how we started our business. And we just went out and we marketed. Okay, I need this many headshots. I need this many business videos. I need this many, you know, glamour portrait legacy sessions. I need this many boudoir sessions, and I make up my month and I go out there and network.
And that's how you do.
And that's how we grew.
And your marketing is around that too.
Absolutely.
You do a lot of marketing around to fill those segments for you.
Absolutely.
I love this example, and I'm so thankful that you shared it. And if you guys didn't get it, just rewind a few minutes back there because it is so valuable. We've talked about this quite a few times, and I love the example of doing it. It really just narrows the margin of how you need to figure out how much you're worth and therefore what you can charge, how you should set pricing around your services and the products that you deliver. I'm just so thankful that you shared that.
Absolutely.
I want to touch base on something too, because using that model, you've been able to really evolve your business 100%. And grow your business.
Yeah. So we're in year 8 now. And again, I honestly believe in the 5-year rule. Like the first 3 years.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
I've known you guys a long time.
You have. Yeah. I think we met you in like year 2.
I think so.
So 6 years, I think we've known each other now. But we, you know, when we first started, all we did was we kept our head down. We stopped listening to the noise, stopped worrying about what anybody else thought or advice from people who didn't, you know how to help us, and started listening to the people that did and who were in it with us, who were supporters of what they were, running small businesses as well. And we just started building, and I felt like I didn't look up until year 3. Like my head was just down, and I was like, and then I all of a sudden peeped my head out, and I was like,
oh, look what I've created.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah.
And then year 5 rolled around, and we were like, wow, we moved into a bigger space.
Yep.
And we started talking about, you know, Brian coming on full time in the SchlickArt team because he was working separately in video. And for us, I was slave driving him. He was working 2 8-hour days.
But I remember you guys mapping out, you know, his exit and his, like, and I thought that was just so fantastic of you to actually live the goals, like live your dream around those goals. And I'm watching you guys live your dream, like right on out. It was so cool.
So then at year 5, we started making, okay, now we need, like every year we would change the goal of how much we needed to make per month to hit our goal.
Yeah.
And so we came up with a monthly goal for every month so that he could leave. But then when he left, I have my monthly goal and he has his monthly goal.
Yeah.
And now we've brought in Sonia as our family portrait photographer as well. She has her own monthly goals.
Right.
And we all have to hit them, and we look at them throughout the month and see where we're at and see where we need to market for. And it just means that we can constantly build. We now have this beautiful studio space. Separate from our home, because you know we were working out of our home for such a long time, and we can just keep growing. And it's like by practicing it, and it is practice.
Yes.
What did they say? Fake it till you make it. I honestly am a believer in that. You're not really faking it though. You're practicing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you're just telling yourself that you can do it. And if you tell yourself anything long enough, it will come to fruition.
Yes,
it will.
I believe it too.
And that's how we build it. And that's how we will continue to build this business, because this works.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think you're done. I feel like,
no.
I mean, well, this is a whole nother service that you've just added on, which is this video podcasting that we're building out together and doing. And it's been a success. And you brought in a content writer to help you with your marketing, to help you with your blog. I mean, like, you know, looking at how you're growing your business, you're adding on these new dimensions to help you.
And just say a little bit about that is content writing is not our strength in any way, shape, or form. My husband and I are both very visual. I mean, he's a great storyteller. He's a great writer. I'm a terrible, terrible writer, but we knew we didn't have the time or the ability to make that happen. So we brought in Kirsten Quinn from Wordsmith. And she's a content writer because we used somebody who we outsourced what we knew we couldn't handle. And that's another big business.
And that helps you grow.
Learn.
But it helps you grow to that next level. And like, I don't think people understand that of like, you just think that they're just doing it all themselves, which a lot of it they are and a lot of it they did. But really, in order to grow the business, to reach those goals that you're setting for yourselves, you have to bring on team members to fill in the gaps. You have to delegate. Part of knowing your worth, it's also knowing your strengths.
And knowing your weaknesses and being prepared to make a decision to move yourself forward. Don't ignore them. They don't go away. And I think that's part of it.
I think that's a really good point to take. Well, when we come back, we are going to find out how you can connect more with Lindsay and Brian and SchlickArt. And then we're going to do, we're going to flip the script where the guest asks Amanda some questions, but she's got some questions that she didn't let me look at before.
Hiding them from
She's
her.
hiding them. So we'll have some fun when we come back.
Marketing isn't just about designing the right ad or creating the right slogan. It's about finding the right audience to engage with your ad. Capturing the attention of the right person is all it takes to make a client for life in today's digital world. Easier said than done, right? Well, what if you knew where your audience was already spending their time? SchlickArt video podcasts provide a platform for local influencers to share their voices with key communities here in Santa Clarita. That means audience members know, like, and trust the recommendations of their hosts. That's why sponsoring a SchlickArt video podcast is a great solution for your business. You get the benefit of a built-in audience and, most importantly, you walk away with a fully produced video commercial for your business that you can use however you like. Are you ready to reach your audience where they want to be found? Call Lindsay at SchlickArt at 661-313-3907 to inquire about becoming a sponsor for your favorite SchlickArt video podcast, because it's time to join the conversation.
Welcome back to the Ask Amanda Show. I'm sitting here with my dear friend, Lindsay Schlick with SchlickArt Photography. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
So you can find us at schlickart.com. We also have our blog, which is an amazing resource. Which is theschlickartblog.com. And on there is so many tidbits about wardrobe for photography and video, how to really utilize your video, headshots, just everything.
Marketing.
Visual marketing. It's an educational piece. It really is.
You do. You have a really good, I've shared it so many times on the LinkedIn crowd because it's so good. So do you have a special gift at all for any of our listeners?
We do. So thank you for listening today, first of all. But we have a fantastic gift for the first 20 people who contact us. But if you contact us and you say, Ask Amanda SchlickArt 10, you will get 10% off any headshots in the future.
That's really nice.
But it's for 20 people.
Okay.
20 appointments.
20 appointments. Ooh, and let the games begin. Right? I feel like that's super fun. Thank you for offering that. I think that's really sweet. I know that you discounts.
No, not for professional portraits. Absolutely not. So it's a real treat.
Power partners. That's what you guys get. So now we're gonna have some fun. I think more like you're gonna have some fun with me. So we're gonna flip the script here, which we normally call flip the script with Ask Amanda, where she gets to ask me some questions.
So my first one is.
I was gonna say begin.
You don't have to tell me twice. Right. So why? And I'm covering this up because I have some questions that I don't want her to see the answers. So why is it so important? Why is video so important to you?
Oh, I love this. Well, as I mentioned before, I'm a terrible writer. I did try to write a blog. Actually, on my website when I first started, which is about 3.5 years ago, I did write a blog, and it was awful. My cousin, who is a writer, used to email me with all my, with corrections in it. And I love her. I didn't care, but I just felt like, I suck at this. So to me, video is it's the best way that I can get across to reach more clients, reach more people that are interested in who I am and what I do, and hopefully provide some value. So that's really, for me, I'm better on video. video works for me.
It does.
I'm very thankful for you guys.
It does. And you're good at it too.
Thank
so it's
you.
good. Yeah, you found your voice.
Yes, I did.
So how do you use digital media as a tool for you and your clients?
Love this. So I'm a fan of all things digital marketing. So with social media mostly, like for example, the gym that I run, which is one of my clients, right, in Burbank, we actually use all of our marketing. We have a on-site photographer and videographer that is, he actually takes photos of members in my gym, and that's what we use for marketing because,
he's great.
Again, we're a community-based gym, so who better to market our gym than the actual community using it? And we do video testimonials. So like that's one way that we highlight or we do spotlights on members and personal trainers. I mean, we really utilize it to market the business, but it's the best way because we're actually showcasing real life in our gym. And what better way to sell the product of why don't you want to join? Like, why wouldn't you join? I literally have a video called why BFC, like why Burbank Fitness Club. And it's a bunch of employees and members of our gym telling our viewers what they love so much about the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's the best way that you could market your business, telling your story, showing your culture, and just the best part of your brand. So I push it a lot. And I ask people to get out of their comfort zones. One of the things that I get pushed back on a lot is, I don't want to be in front of the video. I don't want to do it. Well, then I understand that. But then go do video testimonials. Ask your clients to record a quick video message on why they used your service. Again, it's video content that you can use that you are not in. Like, there's ways around it, but I push it because I just think it's so important to really show who you are.
100%. And if you could give one tip to someone who's growing their brand, what would it be?
Well, they should ask Amanda. Just kidding. Not kidding. I would say, which is what I say all the time, is to determine your why. So as you are growing your brand and you are building out your brand, you need to know why. Building your business, you need to know why you wake up every day and you're going to do these things that you do. So I would say know your why first. And if you need help uncovering that, that's when you would ask Amanda.
Okay, so now we're going to have a little fun. And she's not done this before, and I'm going to sneak it up on her. I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions just for fun.
All right.
Just because this is like, I think I know the answers to most of these, but we're going to see how we're going to go.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Steady?
Yes.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Guacamole or salsa?
Both, but guacamole.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs, even though I have 2 cats. Luckily, they can't hear this.
I knew you'd struggle with that one.
Yeah, that's a
because you
toughie.
like both.
Mm-hmm.
Wine or a margarita?
Yes. Check. I prefer margaritas first and then wine. No, obviously, I'm a big wine fan, so I like wine versus margaritas, but it's hard to give those up.
Go to sleep early or work all night?
Oh, I'm going to bed early. I go to bed early. You guys, I went to bed at 8:30 last night. No joke. I go to bed early.
And then summer or winter?
Summer. Yeah, look at all my freckles. It's proof. I like summer.
Well done.
All right. So
I thought you'd struggle with the guacamole and the salsa and the wine and the margarita.
Yeah,
I think you want all 4 of those in one sitting.
Like right now. What time is it? Pretty much. No. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I feel like
it's my pleasure.
This was exactly what I was hoping it would be, which would be fun and loose and providing a lot of value and education around visual marketing, which you are the expert in. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. God knows what that will be.
Cheers.
Thanks. Oh yeah, cheers. Thanks for watching the Ask Amanda show.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do you have a topic you'd love to hear about? Or is there something you want to ask Amanda? Make sure to comment below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you get a notification whenever we post new videos.